Jimmy Kimmel is back on the air, but the left still needs to whine about it some whole bunch more.
I mean, I thought it was pretty much the most direct infringement by the government on free speech that I've seen in my lifetime. Yeah.
Oh, really? Challenge accepted, old Jakey Tapper, because it actually wasn't the most direct infringement by the government on free speech in certainly my lifetime. Not even close. Jakey, how about this? While the left delivers Jimmy on a silver First Amendment martyr platter, they're desperately hoping that the world doesn't notice the news that the Biden administration silenced so many of us for so many years on yet another platform. Now, what we've known for years is confirmed. The Biden tyrants pressured YouTube to censor conservatives, to terminate our accounts. And finally, after all this time, they'll reinstate those accounts that were banned for political free speech. Google confirms that it was being pressured by the Biden regime to eliminate anything that was said about vaccines or elections that they didn't like.
My office encouraged those companies to exercise that editorial discretion to avoid spreading inaccurate information, particularly related to the ongoing pandemic.
So what was that all about? Government censorship, lefties? Are you serious? Joe Biden was ordering Twitter to remove posts. Zuckerberg said it was a full-scale shakedown at Facebook. And Google was freezing accounts. Looks like another day and another episode of Democrat hypocrisy coming right up. I'm a constitutional absolutionist. Absolutionist. It's not living, breathing, or changing. It's firm. I carry a copy of the Constitution as a reminder of the core laws and values of this country, because it's so important for all of us to remember. And it's especially important for what I do here as a truth teller. I'm also a libertarian who believes in smaller government because bigger government always means more infringements on our rights. That's what the Second Amendment was for, folks. Really, the Second Amendment is all about not for protecting yourself against criminals and Antifa. The Second Amendment was protecting American citizens against a tyrannical government. Joe Biden, Obama. About what happened to Jimmy Kimmel last week. Our First Amendment rights, our freedom of speech is a bedrock of our democracy. But Kimmel told a lie about a murderer on national television just days after that murder. He should have been held to some account. And he was. He was suspended, but Bob Iger's a loser, and now Kimmel's back. It's a gray area when someone, particularly knowing the temperature of a country after a brutal political assassination, decides to dispense an outright dangerous lie. It's also an FCC violation, by the way. Now, whether or not the FCC has too much power and hold over our airwaves is an argument for another day. Like I said, less government is better for me and better for you. Regardless, Kimmel's back and chose to defend his lie with another lie about the man who shot and killed Charlie Kirk.
I don't think the murderer who shot Charlie Kirk represents anyone. This was a sick person who believed violence was a solution.
He knows what he's doing. By claiming the shooter doesn't represent anyone, Jimmy's trying to absolve the entire left and the trans agenda that created that monster and a whole bunch of other monsters around the country shooting the place up. Minnesota. Should I go on? Because there's plenty. It's a total cop-out. But again, it's his First Amendment right to deliver that opinion, right? Except that it wasn't protected. It wasn't a protected right for us in 2020 when COVID was rampant. We had our opinions, but we were being shut out. Turns out that Joe Biden and his comrades didn't consider it to be a protected right for doctors like Robert Malone, politicians like Senator Rand Paul, and countless others who gave their opinions during the pandemic to express those opinions. They were removed from platforms, period. So Democrats trying to explain why Jimmy Kimmel being suspended is a free speech violation, but the Biden administration using Google, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube and TikTok to silence conservatives is somehow not a free speech violation. Jake, please help me out here. Can you help me out here? You guys are doing Cirque du Soleil backbends like never seen before. And you think they're done with censorship. Well, they're not. On the day that Charlie Kirk was assassinated, Gavin Newsom's California comrades furthered a bill that, under the guise of preventing violent content on social media, listen to this, in California, it says just meant to silence conservative voters. Here's what Gavin Newsom's doing. All Gavin had to do was sign it into law when he's not busy desperately trying to be any semblance of Donald Trump on his tour of patheticness. Americans were shunned. removed from social media, lost their jobs for expressing certain opinions, and Jimmy Kimmel has the gall to say this.
The President of the United States made it very clear he wants to see me and the hundreds of people who work here fired from our jobs. Our leader celebrates Americans losing their livelihoods because he can't take a joke.
Well, actually, no, Jimmy, you got to keep your damn job. You even lied through all your teeth when you were keeping your job and when you got your job back, whereas people actually were fired for expressing an opinion during COVID. Also, it's not a joke to lie about an assassin and disrespect an innocent man who was murdered, assassinated in cold blood in front of countless numbers, tens of thousands of young people, millions of people around the world. And they continue to happily ignore the fact that conservative voices have been censored for years.
Ted Cruz warned about it. Others warned about it. What we're doing to them right now, they will do to us when a Democrat. This is short-sighted. It makes no sense.
But the left has already done it, Joe. You've already done it. For years, you've been doing it. The Biden administration has been caught using the government to force Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, and others to censor political enemies, almost always on the right. Joe Scarborough and his cohorts love throwing around the word fascist over and over again, but that kind of censorship is exactly what an actual fascist would do. Censor through the White House, right to Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and others. Democrats called it fascism when Disney suspended Kimmel for 6 days, but not the fact that conservatives or dissenting voices were silenced for 5 years. And not one member of the left has issued a comment, a letter about the importance of free speech now that this truth is out. That's because they support censorship only as long as it targets their political opponents. We're not going to sit with it. We're not going to let them. We will continue to use our First Amendment right. That was a Freudian slip. Our First Amendment right to make sure it doesn't happen anymore. We'll be back in 2.5 minutes.
Through every storm, every moment of uncertainty,
everybody needs to pray for Charlie Kirk right now.
Rev has stood strong.
We're not going to tolerate this stuff anymore.
Turn that anger into motivation to save this nation.
When we move together, there is power.
The cries of this widow will echo like a battle cry.
This is more than news. It's a movement.
This revolution of people taking their countries back.
A turning point. A chance to be part of something greater than yourself. Scan the QR code and stand with Rev. The story isn't over, and neither is your part in it. Step in, be counted, be heard. Together, we are Rev.
We will achieve American greatness. And we are just getting started.